This is NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Hercules Tires, right on our strength, and by Grunt Style. Now, with all the news from NASCAR Touring, local and international series racing, here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
The NASCAR K&N Pro Series East concludes their season with a brand new champion, and the Modifieds are just 4 days away from wrapping up their 2018 campaign. Welcome to NASCAR Coast to Coast for Wednesday, October 10th, 2018. Kyle Rickey from the site of this weekend's Sunoco World Series of Speedway Racing, the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park in Connecticut, joined by Hannah Newhouse in our Concord, North Carolina studios of the Motor Racing Network. Hannah, it's a big weekend of racing here, but first let's open the show with where you were this past weekend, the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East. They were supposed to run last Friday at Dover International Speedway. Unfortunately, Mother Nature had other plans, but a lot of good stories coming out of that race on Saturday morning. A new champion and a winner with Rev Racing in Ruben Garcia Jr. when all was said and done.
I always say that if I don't bring my rain boots, it never rains. But as soon as I pack my rain boots, it rains. And that's exactly what happened this past weekend at Dover. The forecast looked clear all weekend. And then all of a sudden, about an hour and a half before race time, we were putting car covers on, looking for umbrellas and taking cover. And Mother Nature decided that we were not going to crown a champion and a new race winner on Friday night. So Saturday morning, we took the green flag bright and early, 9 a.m. But like you said, it was an awesome way to close out the season. Tyler Ankrum crowned that new champion in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East, the 2018 champion, and Ruben Garcia Jr. collects his second K&N Pro Series East win ever, second of the season as well for Rev Racing. And Rev Racing has something figured out at Dover. I mean, this is many times that we've seen them close the season out with a win. So awesome for that Drive for Diversity team. And man, the K&N East season is over now, and we got the Whelen Modified Tour this upcoming weekend, and then a couple weeks, and we crown a K&N West champion as well.
You mentioned Tyler Ankrum, the K&N East Series champion. He is joining you in studio. We will talk to him in just a bit. Also on the show today, the 2018 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion, Justin Bonsignore. A dominant season, Hannah. That's not over yet. He's already scored 7 wins in 15 starts, clinched the championship a week and a half ago at the Stafford Motor Speedway in Connecticut. We knew somebody was going to have to knock Doug Coby off Modified Mountain at some point. And we figured at the beginning of the year that Justin was probably a pretty good candidate, and indeed that's true.
I feel like we've just been repeating this all season long. Justin started the season strong off with that first win at Thompson, and it was from there, it was like, okay, well, we'll see if he continues this momentum. And that momentum never stopped. I mean, even his worst finish, for example, New Hampshire Motor Speedway for a full throttle weekend, they wrecked on the last lap, and he still finished 6th. So to come away from a really bad weekend in a 6th place finish, Justin just had a remarkable season, so it's no doubt, I mean, he's got to be so excited to go into this weekend, already knowing he has that championship and just looking for another win to add to the season.
Had his worst finish of the year just a couple of weeks ago at the Stafford Motor Speedway, a 12th, but he was allowed a high enough in the finishing order to clinch that champion. He'll join us coming up in a little bit, but coming up next in studio, NASCAR K&N Pro Series East champion, Tyler Ankrum.
Chris Crockett, straight from the NASCAR stands, here with another member of our Toyota racing family, Jason.
Hi there.
Oh, you seem impatient.
Oh, well, I've been holding it in for a while.
A while?
Since it started.
The race?
No, the season.
Wow. Guess you don't want to miss any action.
Nope, I don't.
Oh, did you just see Denny Hamlin take the lead?
I haven't taken my eyes off him.
Jason, you don't look so good. Can I offer you some water?
Absolutely not.
NASCAR and Toyota Racing. With a family like this, who knows the places we'll go in the playoffs? Learn more at toyotaracing.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Grunt Style. The American fighting spirit is in everything we make. We are 500 patriots and veterans strong, bringing clothing manufacturing back to the United States of America. Always moving forward, never retreating, never giving up. We are Grunt Style, and this we'll defend. Get yours at gruntstyle.com.
This is NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
Welcome back to NASCAR Coast to Coast here on the Motor Racing Network. Kyle Rickey here at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park in Connecticut. Hannah Newhouse in our Concord, North Carolina studios, and she is joined by our newest NASCAR K&N Pro Series East champion, and Tyler Ankrum. Tyler, thank you for joining us in studio, I believe for the second or third time this year, and congratulations on the championship.
Yeah, thanks. I always have a blast coming here, and hanging out with you guys, and love MRN coast to coast, and I'm just ready to have a blast with you guys.
Now, when this season started for you guys in DGR Crosley, we talked to David. This started off as a 7-8 race deal. You had no intentions on running the full season. But at what point in the season did you guys go, okay, wow, we have a chance to contend for this championship?
Oh, David really honestly talked us into that one. It was a teeth grinder for sure, because we wanted to do a full season, but we weren't sure if we could do it financially. And I think it was after Langley, we had such a strong run there, and we extended our points lead even more. And David was like, "You got to do it," and my dad was just like, "Fine, whatever, we'll do it." So, I'm thankful that you talked us into it. But fantastic season by the guys at DGR, Seth Smith, Blake, Jeremy, Sam, Chris, all the guys who work on the 17 crew. They've done an awesome job this year, and really couldn't ask for a better season.
Now, you officially clinched the championship a couple of weeks back at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. How different did it feel going to Dover last weekend, knowing that you already had the championship locked up and there wasn't anything anybody could do to take that trophy away from you?
The feeling was definitely different. That's probably the best way I could describe it. We were walking into Dover, and I'd never been there before, so it was an awesome experience walking over the crossover bridge. And I was just talking to my dad, and he goes, this weekend what is about? I was like, is there a trick question to this question here, or trick answer? He's like, no. He goes, seriously, it's checkers or wreckers. We can go out there and just try and win the thing or wreck. He goes, it's the final race of the year. You can do whatever you want. You got the championship. I was like, I never really thought of it that way. And, clinching the championship at Loudon, it was super nice, because at the beginning of the year, like you said before, it was only a part-time schedule. We weren't running for any championships. So Bristol, New Smyrna, first 2 races of the year, it was that same feeling. It was wreckers or checkers. Go out there and try and win the race, or, wreck trying to do so. And obviously, that idea changed, and we were, points racing for the rest of the year. So having that feeling at Dover, not having to worry about any points at all, it was awesome. I got there all weekend and hardly ever thought about the race. I knew all I had to do was go out there and give it my all, try and win the race. We had a really fast car. We were top 5 most of the race, led a few laps. Final pit stop, the guys accidentally put the right rear on the left rear, and that's like a 30-pound air difference. So when you went into one, it was a little loose, to say the least. So, you win together, you lose together. So, we had a pretty strong weekend overall. And, it sucks the way it ended, but, we still had the championship, and just thankful for the year we had.
And Dover is definitely a good wreckers or checkers mentality, as we saw your teammate Todd Gilliland strong all day. Unfortunate ending to him with some serious carnage there, and some unfortunate luck for you guys as well on pit road. So
yeah.
What a good race to go into, knowing you had that championship. But when you guys went into the year, what were your original goals? You're a rookie, you come from super late model racing, had little to no experience in a K&N car. You guys just took home the 2018 K&N Pro Series championship. But what were those original goals before you even considered that as one of them?
For me at the beginning of the year, I said to my dad, and we were actually having dinner somewhere, and I was with my family, and I was spending time with my grandpa, and my grandpa asked me what my goals were. I was like, I don't know, part-time, top 5 every race, maybe top 3, maybe a win. That'd be awesome. But, nowhere did we have any idea we were going to get 4 wins, a pole, going to lead upwards to almost 300 laps. So, it's just a stellar season.
All right, so let's bounce off of Hannah's question. You mentioned 4 wins, one of those right here behind me here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park back in July. 14 starts, 4 wins, rookie season. What about these cars did you take to so nicely? And why so much success early on in your career?
The K&N car fits my personality better. I'm not really a guy that is an aggressor, I should say. I don't like to say to myself that I am a weapon. People might think I'm a weapon, just being honest here. But I don't think I'm a weapon. So the K&N car, it kind of suits more to my personality. K&N car, the harder you drive it, the slower you go in most instances. Especially during the day, it's hot, it's greasy. So I like to use the term, you go slower to go faster. You just be smoother, you be more consistent. And especially, and that helps a lot in the race. And that's always been more my driving style. So I think that's been one of the things this year that's helped me a lot in the K&N car, is just, being that calm, collective driving has really been more of my style, I should say.
And it's definitely a change from a super late model where I feel like you're constantly on the wheel, manhandling those cars, and then you go to K&N cars, which are taxi cab racing. Like you said, you go slower to go faster. It's all about momentum in those cars. Now, let's talk about the dynamic at DGR Crosley. It's a newer team. I talked to David, wasn't really sure what they had in mind for this year going into it with 2 drivers. And the dynamic at DGR is something that I haven't seen in a garage in a long time. What's it like for you as a driver, and what was the dynamic between you and your crew chief, Seth, as well as David?
The dynamic is we like to have fun at DGR for sure. They work really hard, but in their spare time, the little that they do have, they know how to have a lot of fun. So the dynamic at DGR, shouldn't say laid back, but it's very easy to gel with the guys. I should say, they're all a bunch of guys that like to work hard and play hard, as I like to say. So the dynamic over there is fantastic. David was once a Cup driver, and he's super influential, managing the team, running the team. He even works on the race cars. So not only do you have a guy who's been there, done that in every single stage of racing, and he's now a team owner, and that's just one of those things you can lean on. And Seth Smith's super educated, and he loves race. He eats, sleeps, and breathes racing. And having a crew chief like that, where he never really loses his cool, he's always calm. He always has an idea for the race car. Not one time all year have I gone in the pits and I'm like, it's perfect, don't touch it. And he's like, all right, do this. No joke, when we won at South Boston, I came in the pits 5 times and said, it's perfect, don't touch it. And he had an idea to go back out there and try it, to go a little bit faster. So he's always a guy that has ideas. He's always a guy that wants to go faster, and he's always a guy that wants to win.
2018 NASCAR K&N Pro Series East champion Tyler Ankrum joining us here on NASCAR Coast to Coast. So I think we might have touched on this the last time you were on, but being a kid from San Bernardino, California, how did you get involved in motorsports and ultimately find yourself on the East Coast running for a K&N East championship at the young age of now 17?
Well, actually, I recall this day very vividly, but I was just sitting in my grandmother's lap. I was maybe 6 or 7 years old in her ranch house in California, and my father raced quarter midgets as a kid, and I was just flipping through, found a picture of a quarter midget, and I just simply said, I want one. And I asked for 2 years before my dad finally got me one. It was my 8th birthday, and my very first race was my 8th Christmas, my 9th birthday. My very first race was my 9th birthday, and it's actually really cool with my family, because every few years, we race on a Saturday, and it's March 6th, and we end up, it's almost an anniversary kind of thing for my racing career. So it's really cool. But we just started simply racing quarter midgets in California, and slowly, progressively, we got more serious, and we realized that I had a potential or a talent, and I could probably make a career out of it. So now I find myself here at MRN Studios doing Coast to Coast with you guys.
I know. I always laugh that when he won, I can't remember where he won or which race it was. I want to say it was Iowa or something. And he looks at me and he goes, he found me in victory lane and goes, does this mean I get to go on Coast to Coast next week? I'm like, oh boy. All right, well, apparently this is a reoccurring thing. So it makes me glad when we have drivers that want to come in and hang out with us. So you've added this K&N Pro Series championship to your resume. You've got wins, you've got poles, you've won in super late models. What's next for you? You're going to be 18 in March, so that opens up a whole new world of moving up in the NASCAR ranks. What's next for Tyler Ankrum?
We really don't know yet. Me and my dad have talked about it a little bit with David. We want to try and obviously move up, but it's just trying to find help and financially wise. So, we're going to try all we can. We're going to try and move up. We don't really know what we're going to do yet. I think you'll have a better idea in December, January, especially once we get past the banquet. We really want to get to the K&N banquet, have a little bit more fun. And then, we still have a full bracket of super late model racing. We're racing the Winchester 400 this weekend, All-American 400, the Derby, maybe the Governor's Cup. There's a race here in between there that we're going to go and try and race. So still got a chock full racing left to do before the year ends, and we'll have definitely a better idea by winter comes.
That's what I love about Southern super late model racing. The season seemingly never ends. I mean, it'll take a couple of weeks off for the holidays, and that's about it. 2018 NASCAR K&N Pro Series East champion Tyler Ankrum joining us in studio. Tyler, thanks for stopping by. Congratulations again on the championship, and now you can go to work on writing your speech for the banquet.
Yeah, honestly, we It's been a long time since I've had to write a speech, and it's probably the USAC Quarter Midget Banquet. And let me tell you something, I've never fought with my mother more. So we're going to have a lot of fun.
I look forward to seeing it in the month of December when banquet season rolls around. Tyler Ankrum in our studio. Coming up next, though, on the guest line, NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion, Justin Bonsignore.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
MRN's Throwback Thursday, the greatest races in NASCAR history.
Richard Petty goes back in front. They both spin. They're in the wall. Petty is sliding. Pearson is still running. As they come to the stripe, the winner is car number 21.
They spin. They go into the outside wall. Earnhardt hits the wall. Rudd hits the wall. And scooting through is Jeff Bodine, and he is going to win the Holly Farms 400 here this afternoon.
Thursdays at 1 on MRN.com, on demand on iTunes and Google Play. Throwback Thursday on MRN.com. This is NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
Back here on NASCAR Coast to Coast, here on the Motor Racing Network, joined by Hannah Newhouse in Concord, North Carolina studios. I'm Kyle Rickey at the site of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour season finale this weekend, Thompson Speedway in Connecticut. A track that our next guest knows well, especially this season. 32 Thompson starts, 8 wins here, including all 3 here this year thus far. Justin Bonsignore joins us on the guest line.
Obviously, we go into Thompson this up-and-coming weekend. It was announced that you clinched the championship at Stafford. We had just actually talked to Tyler Ankrum, who just won the K&N East championship as well, and he clinched at New Hampshire. And he said he went into Dover with the idea of checkers or wreckers. He's putting it all out there for a win. Do you go into Thompson with the same mentality of, hey, you've got nothing to lose?
I mean, yeah, we're going to go in there, trying to sweep all 4 events this year, but I don't think it's ever a checkers or wreckers type of mentality in our series. But we're going to race hard. You'll be aggressive with our strategy, be aggressive with the setup. Both days, try and qualify up front, practice well, so we can get a good pit stall, and hopefully we can just have that raw speed that we've had all year at Thompson, and be able to just stay up front and kind of take control of the race. But if it comes down to it, I'd rather not have to race that way. But we are going for the sweep, so we'll do within reason. We'll race hard, but we'll also race respectful.
Now, you've been close to the title the last couple of years on the Modified Tour. 3rd in the standings last year, 2nd back in 2016. What was the difference this year in your mind?
I mean, it's pretty obvious to us. It was, bringing Ryan Stone on board and making the switch to LFR race cars. Those were the only changes we made. We plugged Ryan into the crew chief role, kept the same crew, pit crew, everything was the same, and made the chassis swap. And, right off the bat at Myrtle Beach from the first practice, we had a lot of speed, and Ryan and I gelled really well right away. And he understood what I was looking for in the race cars, and, we showed up with speed to each and every racetrack this year, and we were able to just fine-tune on the race cars instead of chasing it and looking for speed each week. So everything in the world to Ryan and LFR, especially Ryan. He works really hard in the shop every night and every day, and he's very dedicated to what he does. He's very meticulous in his craft, and without him, I don't think we're standing here where we are today.
Now, you started off your year earlier in the season at the Icebreaker at Thompson, where you got that win, and you had said something along the lines of, it's so good to get this win early on in the season and get that momentum rolling, and the momentum hasn't stopped yet. What point during the season did you guys think, okay, we're in full contention for this championship?
It had to be probably, things started to take shape in June and July, and then, we started the second half of the year back at Stafford, and Chase Dowling was really close to us in the points. We were only separated by, I think, 15 or 20 points, and they went into that night and had a wreck, and we were able to put some distance on them then, and then we had a stretch of, I think, 3 out of 4 we won throughout August and September, and he was right there with us, but, we were just racking up the bonus points between lead laps and winning the race. And our point lead, it skyrocketed. And that was a good feeling to have. We were still able to race hard and not have to points race at all. And, it kind of was nice to have that cushion because, you could not have to worry about the points pretty much at all this year and just go to the racetrack. And if you had a car that could win, you could go for it. You didn't have to try and run, second or third. In events of like New Hampshire where we got caught up in that crash on the last lap, and at Stafford last week where we kind of got bounced around at the end, it was nice to have a cushion to fall back on. On our bad days, we were still only losing a few points.
Including a 6th place at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, 250 laps, a race that was talked about all year up here in modified country in New England. Outside of the last lap and the contact with Ryan over in turn number 3, how do you feel that event went? And is that a distance that should remain in play for the modifieds going forward?
I thought the event was great, from the time we pulled into the tunnel and they had all the events set up for the fans, and they had a fan zone and all the campers there for just regional event racing and no national series. I thought it was a really good inaugural event. I think they are only going to build on it in the future. I think fans will see that it was a successful event, that they could have a lot of fun for a reasonable price. So I really think it'll be a great event moving forward. Obviously I'm partial to modified racing, so I'm confident it will stay a 250 lap event. But I think they could possibly bring in a different regional series. Maybe an ACT division or even like some street stocks or something like that. That'll bring in a ton more cars and bring people with them. I think that would be great. Having 2 half full fields for the other divisions kind of is a little bit of a downer for the fans. I think fans wanted to see more modifieds too, but 30 something modifieds is still a full field for us. And I thought the event was great for us. I think the live pit stops for fuel under green were really cool. The only thing I would suggest is probably just doing away with the 1 intermission. I understood why we did it, and I was game for it at first, but as successful as the event went, I think we can run that race live from start to finish. And, it gets a little confusing, I guess, at times for the fans in the stands with who's on the lead lap and what's going on. But I think New Hampshire will do a little better job next year with having maybe the TV boards there and just, making it more of a fan experience. But I think it was a great first event, and I hope that's something that we can do for many years to come.
Full throttle weekend, which highlighted the modifieds, like you said, as well as the K&N Pro Series East, and the first time the Pinties had visited American soil. Was a fun weekend altogether. But let's take a step back. You clinched this championship just under 2 weeks ago at Stafford, but Stafford was a whole family affair for you. And when I read the highlight, it said Bonsignore sees NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour Victory Lane for the first time. And my first thought was, someone's losing their job because they haven't been obviously following the tour. Turns out it was actually your cousin Kyle who won the race. You clinched the championship. How cool was that night for your guys' family?
It was really special for my family. My cousin's been doing this part-time on the Northern Tour. He ran the Southern Tour before that closed up, and he's just still really getting his feet into modified racing, and it's tough for them to come up from North Carolina on a full-time basis, but for them to come in and, as I hate to say an underdog, but an underdog team come in and outrun these guys, and he just did it on pure strategy. He took a chance with banking on a late caution, and if he doesn't get that caution, he's finishing probably 10th or 12th, but they were risky enough to go for that strategy, and it worked out perfectly for them at the end. And I was really happy for him. He actually got into me and moved me out of the way when he was coming back through the field, so I wasn't too thrilled with him at the moment, but we got down to victory lane, and they were holding us to wait while his celebration went on to pull us in and have us do a ceremony for the championship. And I had to jump out of the car and go run over to him and give him a hug. So Kyle and I have been like brothers since we were kids, growing up racing against each other in go-karts, and always want to see him have success when I can't. And for him to get his first win and me to get my first championship on the same day, that's something our family will never forget, and we'll be really happy and proud to talk about that for years to come.
Wrapping up with this year's NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion Justin Bonsignore as he prepares for his final race of the year just a couple of days here at Thompson Speedway. The health of modified racing right now, especially on the tour, Justin, seems pretty healthy. 16 races this year, plus the All-Star race. An average car count of 30 or so cars, 36 on the entry list for this weekend. How do you see the health of the series as it currently stands in your eyes as the new champion?
I think it's going really well right now, and in comparison to other series and modifieds, I think it's obviously still the pinnacle of modified racing. Obviously there's other series that come and go. There's a lot of other series with a lot of drama as you read. But modified tour racing is the best there is. NASCAR sets a really good standard. They really do take a good care of their cars, their competitors. With the stuff that we've been a part of, just having the championship for a couple weeks now, it's been unbelievable what NASCAR does for you and everything, and the point fund, and to have this type of car count is great. We lost a few veteran drivers over the last couple of years with say Donnie Leah and Todd Zegedy, obviously losing Ted and guys like that. It's been tough, but I think we have a lot of upcoming drivers that mix in with I hate to call myself a veteran, but I've been doing this for a while now too, so it mixes in with guys like me and Kobe and Timmy and guys like that, Eric Goodale. But I think we got a lot of guys coming up through the system right now. You got Craig Lutz, he's a couple years in. Obviously Chase Dowling is going to be the next big thing on our series. But you also have a lot of rookies. Tommy Catalano's one that points out to me. Blake Barney. You got these kids that are coming in really young, and you give them a year or two, and I think the competition level will be back to where people liked it just a few years ago. Car counts are great right now. Hopefully we can continue that. And I think, Kobe actually pointed this out last weekend after Stafford, that it's really great to see first-time winners. We've had a few of them this year, and then obviously, even guys coming back like Hirschman and winning again for the first time in a long time. So to have that diversity on the tour where people can come in at part-time and have the right equipment, but, can't afford to do it every week, they can say, all right, we can come in and beat these guys. It's not as hard or as impossible as people think. So I think modified tour racing is in good shape right now. I hope to represent it well over the next year and, voice my opinion in ways that can only help support the series and make it grow further. So I'm really happy with it. I appreciate everything NASCAR does from every aspect of from tech to treating you when you're a winner. I think everything's great right now. That's not to say that things couldn't be a little better in some aspects, but as a whole, I think they're doing a really good job, and I'm really proud to be a part of the series.
I couldn't agree with you more, Justin. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations again on the championship, and we'll see you in just a few short days here at the Thompson Speedway.
Thanks, guys. It's a pleasure to be on. Hopefully we can have some fun this weekend with you guys, and we'll see you up there.
Looking for the Thompson sweep here this weekend at the World Series of Speedway Racing to wrap up their 2018 season. That is Justin Bonsignore. Coming up, a preview of the weekend ahead throughout NASCAR Nation.
Chris Crockett, straight from the NASCAR stands, here with another member of our Toyota racing family, Jason.
Hi there.
Oh, you seem impatient.
Oh, well, I've been holding it in for a while.
A while?
Since it started.
The race?
No, the season.
Wow, guess you don't want to miss any action.
Nope, I don't.
Oh, did you just see Denny Hamlin take the lead?
I haven't taken my eyes off him.
Jason, you don't look so good. Can I offer you some water?
Absolutely not.
NASCAR and Toyota Racing. With a family like this, who knows the places we'll go in the playoffs? Learn more at toyotaracing.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Bring the whole family out to Talladega Super Speedway for the Kids VIP experience. Kids 12 and under can choose from a number of great options behind the scenes, like guided garage tours, pre-race photo ops, and more. This is more than a race. This is Talladega.
This is NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
We've talked about the entire show, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, that they will conclude their season here at the Thompson Speedway this weekend, while Justin Bonsignore has the championship wrapped up. There are some other battles in the top 5 in the standings. Doug Coby currently 6th in points, just 8 ahead of Timmy Solomito. And how about Craig Lutz, 5th in points after a career day at Stafford 2 weeks ago, finishing 2nd to Kyle Bonsignore. But also, Hannah, the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West, they have a couple of events to go. Their penultimate race of the season this weekend, the Napa Toyota Auto Care 200 at All-American Speedway. Can Haley Deegan get her 2nd consecutive win? Will Cole Rouse retaliate on his teammate in Haley? And can Derek Thorne maintain a 32-point lead over Ryan Partridge now with 2 races to go?
I think Roseville is the perfect racetrack to have to lead up to a championship race because it kind of reflects Meridian being a short, little tiny racetrack. It's really rough, hands-on, hard side-by-side racing. So it has an opportunity for someone like Haley Deegan to come through, shine, get that first win. But it could also really make or break throughout the points if someone happens to have a bad night because it is an aggressive racetrack. So Roseville this up-and-coming weekend for the K&N West will definitely be an interesting one to head into Kern in just a few weeks as we get ready to crown a champion. But I want to touch back really fast on Thompson this up-and-coming weekend. You mentioned Craig Lutz, who's in that top 5 in points. He's got this brand new LFR car that he's been running, showed he can do it at Stafford, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's one to watch going into Thompson this weekend to really shake things up in the top 5 in points. So I'm looking forward to going back to Thompson. Haven't been there since the Icebreaker earlier this year and close out the Modified Tour.
There's going to be 400 cars here this weekend, 17 different divisions on the oldest asphalt racetrack in the country. Hannah, can't wait for you to get up here.
I'm already excited to break out a winter jacket because I think North Carolina forgot that it's supposed to be fall right now because it is still like 87 degrees outside right now. So I am so excited for jeans and sweatshirt weather. Like I might just stay there. I'm going to extend my Thompson stay just for the weather.
They've been racing here since 1940. Another chapter will be written this weekend. Hannah, look forward to seeing you up here.
I'll see you up there, Kyle.
All right, that'll do it for today's show. Want to thank Tyler Ankrum for joining us, along with Justin Bonsignore. For Craig Moore, Brian Yesowich, and Hannah Newhouse, I'm Kyle Rickey. We'll see you back here next week here on NASCAR Coast to Coast.
NASCAR Coast to Coast has been brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. NASCAR Coast to Coast can be found on demand at MRN.com, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and SoundCloud. NASCAR Coast to Coast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.